Howdy, 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 my beautiful Gemini. How are you doing today, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today we're going to be getting into your weekly tarot reading, Gemini, for November 2022, of course. So if you enjoy this tarot reading today, let me know in the comments below, my beautiful Gemini, how it resonates with you. As well, if you want to support me, Gemini, the best way to do it is completely for free. Just give this video a like and subscribe, and it helps me out quite a bit, darling. And I always appreciate those who do that extra step. But remember, Gemini, if you do enjoy this tarot reading today, honey, which I hope you do, all right, check out your sun, moon, and your rising. That's how you get the best reading for you possible today, Gemini, is by catering the energy to your chart. So yeah, just check that out, whether it's my videos or somebody else's, honey. All right, so don't take that as self promo. So let's just get into your tarot reading here today, Gemini. All right, I'm really interested in this. We're starting out with 3 cards, of course. 3 is my favorite number, in case you didn't know, Gemini. Now you do. You have the Chariot card coming in, the 7 of Swords, as well as the 5 of Cups. All right, first thing I want to be letting you know, Gemini, is that I get like this impression here of where, like, frustration with something currently going on in your life, of where it's just like, why did it have to be this way? All right, so what do I mean by this, Gemini? All right, I mean by this in like a social way, especially with the 7 of Swords here. In a social way, it gives me very much so someone's like very, like, girl, let me put focus back on this, very much so like self-sabotaging. Gemini, you might have noticed someone in your life just like trying to start some drama, trying to start some stuff with you while you're just sitting there minding your business. And I feel like in response, Gemini, or at least I feel like you're responding in this way. If you haven't, maybe you should consider. But I feel like your response here, Gemini, is with this 5 of Cups, where it's just like you understand after whatever happened, you're just like, okay, this is a sign for me to move. This is a sign for me to change directions from where it is I've been currently going into a new way. So essentially, you are moving on from this person if they've been bringing the drama, which I'm hoping you are, darling. Don't tell me that you're ignoring the red flags, darling, all right? Even the cups are spilled is like with the blood, darling. Like, don't be ignoring the red, Gemini. All right, and then you have this Chariot card coming in here, full speed ahead. All right, and so you know, I know I only talked about the social part, but I feel like you get the same thing. It's like a job or something that's like something really happened, Gemini, essentially, where it's just like you can't ignore the elephant in the room, and you're just like, all right, like I gotta do a change. You know, something needs to happen, because for what it currently is not cute. And so with this new sense of direction, Gemini, you'll take a notice with the Chariot card, you know, fast forward movement, but also you'll take a look with the 5 of Cups. You'll see those 2 cups right over there. So it's like full speed ahead for you, Gemini, because it's like you're so in tune with the spiritual energy around you, where you're just like, you acknowledge being like, okay, this situation is not cute. It wasn't really pleasant to go through, but I understand I needed to have this happen because this is my sign to go into this new direction. In this new direction, fast forward momentum. So if anything, Gemini, maybe this is me being optimistic, Gemini, and you can please let me know in the comments below, being like, Velka, this is a little bit too positive for me, honey. Like, you know, in your current situation, you might be feeling like you're drowning. But in my opinion, you know, in my optimistic nature, I think I'm seeing you in this place of being like, all right, you know, full speed ahead down this new path now that I'm no longer having to deal with this drama or what have you here. A lot of doors are going to be opening for you now that you're changing, you know, are like realigned. I feel that's like the message that I get here, Gemini. It's like, you know, spirit kind of like nudged you with your path, where your trajectory is going, and now that you're back into the proper direction here, a lot of things are going to speed up. I also even have the High Priestess card, that when I was picking up this deck here, making its apparent, or making its presence known to you, Gemini, or to me to point out to you, Gemini. So very much so letting you know, Gemini, you're listening to your intuition. All right, darling. So don't be thinking that you're being crazy right now, and there's like your affirming message to let you know that you aren't being crazy. All right. So what happens after, now that you're changing up directions here, Gemini? You saw a situation for what it was. You saw this red flag, and you're just like, all right, let's move into this new direction. 8 of Cups, literally the epitome. Like, Gemini, I don't know why, maybe spirits needed to, like, maybe you were searching for this extra affirmation, Gemini, where you're just like, is this really the right choice in me moving on from this? You're getting every single card, Gemini, talking about moving on from a current situation, choosing to not settle, to go out and to do to find something greater and more fulfilling for you personally. That's literally the storyline, Gemini, of the 8 of Cups. You'll see those 8 cups at the bottom there, and this person's walking away from it in hopes to find more than 8 cups, in hopes to find 10 cups, right? And so you look a little bit further back here, Gemini, all right? This is why I like to say tarot is like a puzzle, Gemini, is because you'll see those 2 cups right here, you know, where my finger is, where my little nub is, Gemini. You'll see those 2 cups, and those are the 2 cups that this person's looking for here. So it really just drills into the similar message, Gemini, where it's confirming to you, where it's just like you choosing to not settle, you choosing to go out there, you're going to find your 10 cups. And it's through this new path that's opening up for you, through this new journey that only could open up for you, Gemini, with whatever the Seven of Swords was, whether it's some unfortunate drama or whether it's just some like general wrench being thrown in your plans, right? So what is this starting to look like for you, Gemini? What can we be expecting in this new journey that you're about to be waltzing into? We have the 10 of Wands. Now this card did come into the reverse. All right, the 10 of Wands, Page of Cups, and then we have the 10 of Pentacles coming in here. Ooh, now this is interesting here, Gemini. All right, this is really interesting. For one, 10 represents closures to cycles. All right, 10s represent closures to cycles, so remember that. So when we have those two 10s with this Page of Cups here, Page of Cups by definition, Gemini, is a card that talks about new people and new opportunity in entering your life, because cups can represent people or emotions, people or opportunity. All right, it doesn't always have to be about relationships here. But overall, in this new path that you're about to be waltzing into, Gemini, new opportunity for sure. I want to get some clarifiers on this 10 of Wands in the reverse though. Like, why is that there? Seven of Wands with the Page of Pentacles coming in, clarifying this here. You know, this leads me to believe, Gemini, almost the sense of where your path is about to be like, you're about to be like, pay attention to your social circle this time, or just like your current environment, the current environment that you fostered, Gemini, because I get something that from like whatever it is that you fostered in your current environment is what's going to be like what gets you the opportunity. So for example, Gemini, you could have befriended, Page of Cups, you could have befriended somebody that is really good on social media, and it's through that connection that then helps like a lot of prosperity for you. All right, so this is like a direct message, Gemini, where it's like it may not be relevant right now. All right, it may not be in like your like immediate all the people that you've talked to right now, but it's going to be very much so this energy where it's just like whoever you connect to, whatever it is that you start working on, Gemini, long term it's going to be setting you up for success. Long term it's going to be something that is extremely fruitful. Sure, it starts out as something small, Page of Pentacles, but it leads to be 10. It leads to be everything that you were looking for. So this gives me very much so, Gemini, like maybe you're starting like a small business, you know, the small business that barely pays, honey, if it even pays for anything. But eventually that small business turns into a big business, honey. And then what happens when you're a big business? Usually you get big money. 10 of Pentacles. The story writes itself. Ultimately, Gemini, do you see where I'm getting with this here? So it's like pay, like nothing, anything that you do at this current point in time and in the future is going to be for waste, is basically what I'm trying, the point that I'm trying to get across to you, Gemini. It's like anything that you put your energy, time and energy into is not going to be for waste, because it's going to be something that is like in the future will grow to be something extremely prosperous. All right, so think about like small things that you could develop, right? You know, social media, starting your own Etsy, you know, maybe you open up a dating profile, a dating app that opens, you know, that lays the groundwork for something to grow, something to blossom. All right, think about it in that way. Now let's do one more here. 8 of Wands. Expect quick travel. Expect, you know, this is the card also of like quick success, but I feel like more so let's focus in on the message, Gemini, of like travel coming in for you here. A lot of things are going to be opening up. Overall, Gemini, that's what we can be anticipating for you in the coming days, is like a lot of doors, a lot of opportunity is going to be finding its way to you in ways that you normally wouldn't expect. All right, and the reason why I say that is because of the previous messages. So it's really something unexpected. It's not like you fully are like, you connect, you start talking to like a CEO or somebody, like you kind of know, it's like the more I befriend the CEO, you know, the opportunity is something that you just would not like expect to have it be blossom to anything. Or if you start working at $1 million business, of course, you know, it's going to be profitable, but you know, you take a bet on something, you gamble. Now getting into your oracle reading now, Gemini, for this week. You have the groundhog spirit, which is the number 4 in numerology. Write that number down to look up at a later point in time to see what messages the number 4 has. The Libra also got the number 4, obviously different oracle card, but you know, if you have Libra in your chart, check that out. But this is the groundhog spirit, Gemini. All right, time to let go. Time to let go, darling. All right, and I feel like you kind of get to that, you understand that to that point, Gemini. All right, I feel like you understand that you need to let go of this one thing from your past so you can go into the future here. You know, that's something I was extremely confident from the very beginning. So again, maybe this is just like a message that some Gemini needed to hear to confirm, be like, okay, this is the right choice. You know, I'm not doing the wrong thing. I'm not making a mistake here, which really just shows how much you care, or just like the, you know, the level of like how impactful your next choices would be, right? But I see a lot of positive stuff for you, Gemini. So I like to do this new thing now, Gemini, where it's like, what if you were to put your energy into anything this week, manifesting something physical with your task or whatever, what would it be? What would spirit suggestion be? 10 of Wands making its appearance. Back out to you, darling. All right, Gemini, this is going to be a really positive week for you to be taking care of your to-do list. All right, and matter of fact, I'm being shown someone that is taking care of their giant to-do list. They're going to be rewarded for that greatly. You know, so what I get, for example, here, Gemini, maybe your to-do list is associated with, because for some reason I do get like this very specific message of where it's just like your spirit guide or ancestor or something wanting to be like, we will bless you, you know. So maybe that's part of like your to-do list, is like, maybe it's been a while since you made an offering, Gemini. Maybe it's been a while since you set up your altar or something like that, or cleaned up your altar. You know, maybe that's associated with it. But there's definitely like this sense here, Gemini, where it's like you're about to, like, you would receive something really positive in your current physical life if you were to get that to-do list done. All right, so make it make that your priority, Gemini, this week, and let me know in the comments below what that is for you. All right, if you want to share it. But that's the tarot reading that I have for you today, Gemini. Hopefully I can connect to you sometime in the near future. Bye, darling.